Welcome to the Grit and Grace podcast, where real conversations meet real growth. This is the place where we lean into life's challenges with grit and rise above them with grace. Whether you're here for encouragement, practical tools, or a reminder that you're not walking this journey alone, you're in the right place. So let's dive in. Well, Christy, so tell us what the plan is. You know, we are all about setting goals and crushing goals. And so what's ahead this week?
DECA, World Champions. I love DECA. Got started in 2022, and I qualified for 5 events at the World Championship. And I'm excited, nervous, excited, ready. I'm going in more confident this time.
Yes, we did a DECA Fit
this morning.
Simulation this morning. It was good. We were better than last week.
We just did a DECA Fit. Was it 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done a DECA Fit simulation since I went to Indiana and did DECA Fit.
Yeah.
And now we've already done 2.
We've done 2 because we already have plans for 2026 that we're going to compete again, compete together. And so you're going to do good.
Going to do good.
Yes.
I'm going to do good.
Is there anything that you're doing like to mentally prepare? You leave in like 3 days.
I leave in 3 days. Do I leave in 3 days? Is this your timing or my timing?
Well, Saturday.
Saturdays.
So, I guess it's a few more than
Saturday.
3.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I leave in 4.
4. We leave in 5 because we're competing too.
Yes, you're competing too.
I'm competing in mile and solo by myself, and then team mile with my husband.
I'm so excited that that you are doing that.
Yeah. Well, you know, and it's
next
funny.
year, DECA Fit is going to be your thing.
I hope so.
Because DECA Fit is the one that has a 5K run including
zones.
the zones.
Yeah.
So you got a 500-meter run between zones. You do that 10 times. And if you are a runner, you just have that advantage over people. But since she is a runner and strong, I can't wait. I can't wait. Next year, when we're going to be sitting here talking about DECA World Champions, you're going to be there.
But we'll give you all a recap of DECA, Fort Lauderdale. Yes. That'll be a new podcast in December.
Yeah, we're staying at an Airbnb in Fort Lauderdale. Going down there. I'm leaving Wednesday. She's joining us. His husbands are going with us because they're competing with us. Those are our partners, our husbands. And we're staying. As soon as the competition's over, peace out, we're done.
Yeah.
We don't hang around.
We're good travelers together, all of us. So, and you know, what's fun about DECA, our goal is the whole time, because we do like to run, but it's to be a hybrid athlete, that we want to be strong and to run. And so DECA really, that's what DECA is.
Were you excited about the workout this morning?
Yeah. I mean, as excited as you can be about feeling like you might throw up at 5:30 a.m. on Black Friday, but it felt better than 2 weeks ago. Like it was better.
Did. In 40-degree weather, I wore my earmuffs, my gloves almost the entire time. And Bethany gets there and she's already taken clothes off.
Like, it's hot.
It's hot. She wanted to wear shorts and it was cold. But no, it's good. She always says that she's shocked that something sometimes so short, even like DECA Strong, can just get you to that pukey feeling.
Yeah, when you can run a marathon and not feel like that, but it's just different.
It's so different.
Just different, but we're excited to watch
very excited.
Christy win.
And our husbands are doing it. And I'm excited. I am. My husband is very excited about being my partner. And
a little nervous.
He's a little nervous.
High expectations.
I know. It's hard being married to me, guys. It's hard.
But that's another podcast. So today we are going to do a deep dive into the peptide called GLP-1s. And so there's so much media, such a buzzword in today's like media, medicine, culture, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. And so the GLP receptor agonist, it mimics the natural hormone GLP-1. And so it's really important for people, you know, I say that there's kind of a population of people that are a little bit haters of the GLP-1 class. And so maybe if you're on that side of the spectrum, this will shed some light.
Exactly.
And so this drug class has been out for 20 years. The first one came out in 2005. So I've been in practice 20 years. That first one was called Byetta, and it was actually a once daily injection. Wow. Yes, and the first indication was type 2 diabetes. And so we saw such good results with the first one. So it was like Byetta and then Victoza, Bydureon. They ended up becoming a weekly injection. And we saw huge hemoglobin A1C reduction. And so I've been comfortable with this drug class for 20 years, for my whole career, because type 2 diabetes was my practice specialty back then. And I just watched people have really good results. And so probably 10 years after it came out, it gained an FDA approval for weight loss.
Yeah.
And so when it gained that, we still really couldn't utilize it because it was so costly. It was about $1,000 a month, and insurance coverage was really poor. So the generic chemical names that we know now are semaglutide, tirzepatide, name brands Ozempic, Mounjaro. There's more, but that is this drug class that we're gonna dive into. And so as far as this drug class, it has several mechanisms of action. So why does it work? So it slows gastric emptying. So that's one thing that it does. So it delays gastric emptying. And when we talk about side effects, this will kind of become more prominent. So because it slows gastric emptying, it actually improves satiety or makes you feel full. And so that's one reason that it helps with weight loss, is because you are able to eat less. And so it reduces appetite and cravings. It also improves insulin sensitivity. It does this by decreasing hepatic glucose output, and it works in that craving satiety part of the brain. And that's an amazing thing about this drug. So, Christy, tell us some of the things that patients have said about what it does as far as head hunger and food noise.
I mean, yeah, and food noise has been a term that was coined on the internet, and it's perfect. It is exactly that. So food noise is like constantly thinking about food and what's the next meal and where am I going to eat at and all of that. And it takes a lot of time from you to think about all that. And me, with my addiction background, I understand that.
Sure.
So when they talk about food noise, they say it is hard to out-discipline it, to out-motivate food noise. And not everyone's like built like me, and I understand that. And so when it quiets their food noise, they're making better decisions. And one thing that I hear the most is it's changing their cravings. Like they're not craving sweets as much, and they're not snacking in the evening as much. So many clients are in that habit of after dinner, they're relaxing, and it's a habit. They are eating late at night up until they go to bed, and it's wreaking havoc on any weight loss results, that one thing. And people that are on that GLP-1 have reduced their nighttime eating.
Yeah, and lots of other craving reductions. So I've seen people that have reduced their alcohol intake.
Yes.
Yeah, and then, one thing that I think of with this is all the things that are added in our food that activate that dopamine part of your brain. So we are really conditioned to crave, and this helps break that.
Yeah.
Which is so powerful because there's really nothing else. And like you said about the patient that felt like they had so much more time, I have patients all the time that say, I don't even remember ever feeling like I had power over food until they did this. So it really kind of shows you where we are as a society, kind of a dangerous place.
Yes.
But makes you understand the necessity or in the benefits of this.
I mean, it is, food has so much power.
It really does.
I mean, when you said it that way, I mean, you think about bookstores and everything and the millions and billions of dollars that are spent in the weight loss industry. It is about food. It's that one thing. No matter how much I've been preaching this, it's the one thing you have control over.
Yeah.
What you put in your mouth, you have complete control over.
But at the same time, it's what most people don't have control over.
I know. And it is that dichotomy of not living abundantly and having to always be concerned with that. And then when you make the mistakes and put the wrong things in your mouth that is not fueling you correctly, then you're self-sabotaging yourself.
Yeah.
And then you're feeling guilty. It's a roller coaster ride that we really want to help people get off of.
Yeah. So you can live in freedom.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
That is it. That is it. And there's so many benefits. There truly are a lot of benefits to it. It's better metabolic health because it's going to help reduce inflammation. It's going to get you moving. It's going to help you feel better, and it improves insulin resistance. And when you improve insulin resistance, you know, it helps you become a better athlete, helps you move more efficiently. It helps you recover better. And reduction in cardiovascular risk. Definitely, that's a good idea. I like that one.
Yes. So, because the thing is, we know in the United States that cardiovascular risk is huge because type 2 diabetes, hypertension, hyperlipidemia, this triad metabolic syndrome where people have central belly fat combined with high cholesterol. And so by reducing weight and improving metabolic flexibility. So we talk about that in another podcast, but that is how our body regulates sugar.
Yes.
And because most of the U.S. is insulin resistant because we have such a high carb diet, most people are metabolically inflexible. So you can't eat carbs and your blood sugar be regulated like it's supposed to. Yeah. And so it helps with this. So all of these things improve quality of life.
100%.
So one thing, let's talk about side effects.
Okay.
So as far as side effects, because it delays gastric emptying, you can see acid reflux, belching, burping, and then because of the delayed gastric emptying, you can also see nausea. Yeah. And the nausea I liken it, if you're a female, to like that pregnancy, first trimester, morning sickness, kind of a transient nausea.
That's what everyone describes it as.
Yeah. And then the delayed gastric emptying can cause constipation just because transit is slow.
Yes.
And so I think now providers that prescribe GLPs, if they're evidence-based and they truly care about health optimization, and it's not just like the med spa that's doling it out.
Yes.
Most people are now grabbing hold of the strategy, let's microdose this.
Yes.
That where you've seen a lot of the scary side effects are people on too high of a dose.
Yes.
And I tell patients all the time that the goal is not complete appetite suppression.
100%.
You still need to eat.
Yes.
You've got to fuel protein. You've got to strength train. You still have to do those things. So you just need a little dose. And that helps improve tolerance and it minimizes side effects.
Yes.
It also improves compliance because, and you talk to patients, now we have this collaboration, and you talk to patients all the time about the fact that if you suppress appetite so much and you've got this perpetual nausea, then what are you going to go grab?
Carbs.
Cookies. Your
crackers. Not cookies, crackers. Saltines, morning sickness.
Exactly. And you're not going to be getting, steak or something high protein. And so by just doing that little microdose, it still has efficacy, but it improves tolerability.
Yes.
And then you can really focus in dialing your diet. And that's what you're really doing to see benefits.
Yeah, because I mean, and that's what we do enjoy seeing the benefits, but we want them slow.
Right.
Because Bethany and I both believe in health. We want to make you healthy. Getting skinny fast is not the goal.
Right.
It truly is not the goal. That could be a byproduct of you getting healthy is losing weight. And that's what we're trying to educate you guys on is when you add this to a protocol that you're already doing of mindset, healthy choices, good nutrition, prioritizing protein, adding strength training, and you're losing weight at a safe rate, then it's a good thing.
Right. So one thing we do with patients is Christy puts them on the InBody machine to look at body composition because it's not about the number on the scale. To you, it may be about the number on the scale. To us, it is about your muscle mass. It's about your percent body fat, your basal metabolic rate, your overall health. And so if you are losing more than 1 to 2 pounds a week, then you are losing muscle mass.
Yes.
And that's where you see negative side effects.
Very negative.
And not the goal. So a 1 to 2 pound weight loss, if weight loss is your goal,
Yes.
you may be an athlete and you're microdosing and weight loss is not your goal.
Yes.
Health optimization is your
Exactly.
goal.
Lowering
And
inflammation.
So that's where you have to have a personalized plan.
Yes.
You have to have a personalized plan to tailor it to what your goal is and what your health right now looks like.
Yeah, because, and just like she started off saying, and I will admit, I was in the category of not a fan of, I mean, the one I always heard about was Ozempic. Because I see people use it, I saw, and I still see people using it as a quick fix, and I'm seeing the repercussions.
Yeah.
I am seeing fast weight loss. I am seeing them just lose muscle at a rate that is bad. And I recently heard someone describe about the dangers of yo-yo dieting, and it was just mind-blowing. And I think I say it 10 times a day in my office because there are so many people that I know that are yo-yo dieting. And that means you are gaining and losing the same 20 pounds. And when you do that, almost every time you have weight loss, you're gonna lose muscle. So that is where I come into play because we're monitoring that muscle. And you're getting on that in-body, and you're getting on the in-body again a month later, and we're monitoring that. You may have some muscle loss, but if we are staying on top of it before it happens, then we're not gonna have the effects that a yo-yo diet can do. So when you lose 20 pounds and you are not mindful of the protein and you're just doing it to get skinny, for a number on a scale, you're chasing the wrong things, you may lose 5 pounds of muscle. And so when that 20 pounds that you lost and that which included 5 pounds of muscle comes back on, you're putting it back on as fat. Almost most people.
Because you're not prioritizing protein and strength training while you're putting it back on.
Exactly. And so then you lose 20 pounds again for the second time. You may lose 3 pounds of muscle, and you still have lost that first 5 pounds. So now we're at a huge deficit of muscle, and then you become under muscled. And so if you're doing that in your 30s, 40s, 50s, when it is even harder, not harder, it's never impossible to gain muscle in your 70s, 80s, and 90s. You can always gain muscle, but it's harder.
Yeah.
It is so much harder, and you have to work, and you have to prioritize protein. And you don't go into that decade of 70s and 80s with a lot of muscle on your body, and you're not, and we definitely don't want to go into that decade under muscled.
Right.
Because.
And the other thing about that is every time you lose muscle, your basal metabolic rate goes down. So your basal metabolic rate is how many calories you expend just living in the day. And so your basal metabolic rate goes down. Therefore, you have to eat less. To lose.
So if you are still consuming the same that you had when you had that muscle, it's a recipe for disaster.
So it really can be like a slippery slope. And that's where this has really gotten a bad rap.
Yes.
So muscle preservation is so common or so important. And so GLPs can be used for biohacking. So this is beyond the type 2 diabetes, beyond the obesity, that really there's more and more data, and we're just seeing like the tip of the iceberg as far as that to improve performance, longevity. And like I said, improves metabolic flexibility. It improves mitochondrial efficiency through glucose control. So like I said, as a country, we are so metabolically inflexible because of our American diet. And so we just can't even control your own glucose because of this. And so when it's paired with other peptides that we talked about in another podcast, when it's paired with nutrition optimization, strength training, you can really see that it improves health span, not just the weight on the scale.
Yes. And just to make sure you guys understand what metabolic flexibility is. So metabolic flexibility is meaning that you really are not going to have energy without carbs. It's basically your body is only running on carbs. So that is when you are having a roller coaster of energy and sleepy all day long. And every time you start to decline, that is when those cravings are going to go up because your body is asking for carbs, because your body only knows how to run on carbs and it doesn't know how to switch metabolic flex and switch to become a fat burning machine. And you should be able to, if you are go on a lower carb diet, your body should be able to switch to become a fat burner. And so many people are never getting into that reserves of fat.
And it's because they just fuel their body with carbs.
Yeah,
every
time
2 or
they
3
get hungry,
hours. Yes.
they're constantly eating carbs.
Yes, so your body's used to that glucose.
Yeah.
And so that's what it burns. That's it.
Exactly.
So the other thing that we've seen such an improvement in with the use of GLP-1s is inflammation. And so many of my patients on GLPs have said that their pain is better, joint pain is better, even like patients that have eczema or something inflammatory, that can be better. And part of this, I think there's multiple factors involved. First of all, you're probably eating better and you're eating less inflammatory. And so that could be huge. But then when you reduce visceral fat, it lowers inflammation by default.
Yeah.
And so insulin, basically inflammation is fueled by that glucose. We know this.
Yep.
This is not rocket science. Like sugar causes inflammation.
100%.
So when we improve insulin sensitivity, that keeps sugar levels down, thereby reducing inflammation. And so there's many studies that show C-reactive protein is a non-specific inflammatory marker. And there's a lot of data about CRP going down in patients on GLPs. So it can also improve joint stress and recovery. Part of that's because of the inflammation, and then if you lose weight because you're overweight, it's, like I said, kind of a cycle.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast about the inflammation and what it does, how it does reduce inflammation. And it was talking about Hashimoto's. And I have a lot of clients that are on Hashimoto's. And correct me if I'm wrong, I'm the grit, she's the doc. And so your antibodies are attacking your thyroid, right? It was talking about how they are seeing the GLP-1s like reduce those antibodies by a lot.
Yeah, which those antibodies are really hard to reduce. There's not many things that reduce
That's what they're
them.
saying.
Yeah.
So
another area that I've seen such an improvement in, and some of these patients I've taken care of for 20 years, like we've walked this whole road, is polycystic ovary.
I was fixing, yep.
And, you know, do you remember, I think this was our inflammation podcast, one of our early podcasts, but we talked about, inflammation of the thyroid is Hashimoto's, inflammation of the ovaries is PCOS, inflammation of the brain is dementia. So there's research about all of those things, but I have PCOS patients that I've taken care of for 2 decades. And until they started a GLP, nothing moved the needle, nothing. And when they've started the GLP, their periods are regular. They've been able to lose weight. They're less inflamed. Some of them that were still of age have gotten pregnant. They were never even ovulating before. And historically, we've put these PCOS patients just on metformin because there's not like a mainstream treatment for PCOS.
Yes,
it's a difficult thing to treat. And so that's an area, it's been life-changing. I truly believe it'll have an FDA indication for PCOS at some point.
That is so,
that's
great. Because,
there's
so many
dementia
people
studies
are dealing with that.
Yeah, so many people. And it's the world we live in.
Yes.
Everything goes back to the world we live in, but.
And one thing that is beneficial of the GLP-1 is it improves the leptin and ghrelin signaling. So those are your 2 hormones that says I'm hungry or I'm full. Does the full one work for everybody? No, just
this helps.
And so it does. It goes into your brain and it helps regulate hunger and the full hormones. But again, it does also help reduce estrogen dominance. You were just talking about that earlier.
Yeah, in another podcast. So many people are estrogen dominant. And what that means is that your estrogen levels are high. And it all has to do with hormone balance. But many times people that are estrogen dominant, it is because of exposure. It's because of diet. Patients with PCOS, like we talked about, they have estrogen dominance. So estrogen levels are really high. So they have accumulation of central belly fat, breast tenderness, can't lose weight, mood changes, all of these negative hormonal complaints.
Wow.
So it helps with that. So like I said, there are some studies about GLPs and dementia research. And so that is like forthcoming, but exciting about this drug class. And I think it goes back to the inflammation like we talked about.
And I mean, and that's what I keep hearing. I mean, they are just, I think everyone's just doing, many doctors are doing those deep dives on GLP-1s. And I was listening to another podcast, guys, and he really broke down like kidneys, liver, everything.
Yes.
Of what it's doing.
So now there's a new indication for sleep apnea. That sleep apnea indication is only on the basis of decreased neck circumference. So there's nothing else that happens other than just it helps with weight loss. But then fatty liver is another thing that that just got an indication. So, but as far as the dementia research, it decreases neuroinflammation. And so there's amyloid plaques that are seen on autopsy of people with dementia. And so there's animal studies that show a decrease in those plaques. And that's huge because up until this point, really nothing has touched that. Wow. So it'll be interesting to see in the next few years, what's to come on that. And we just know glucose feeds inflammation.
It does.
So balancing out glucose and decreasing insulin, cancer, I think it will be, there will be so many more things.
So again, you've got to start with your nutrition. You've got to start with your habits and your mindset in order to get control of it. And this is just a tool to help optimize you. And it's a peptide. So it is something that your body does make, and it is used a lot for longevity and performance. So a lot of people that are possibly like morbidly obese and obese, or just maybe have some extra pounds on them. It does cause them to not to want to move, not to want to do anything, and not to live that healthy lifestyle because they're so without hope. They are tired, they're frustrated and everything. And so once we do that switch and we give them that hope, and that we give them the enthusiasm, the motivation that, okay, I'm going in the right direction. I feel better. My weight is getting at a healthier weight, and I'm able to do more. That is where longevity comes into play.
Yeah.
It is not the drug.
Yeah.
The drug is helping.
The drug is a tool.
The drug is a tool.
It's a tool, and I tell patients all the time, it's the human psychology of seeing results.
Yeah.
That you need to be able to see results. And even if they're small, it's just, because we want them to be small. We don't want them to be huge. I was just reflecting, I think the most weight that I've had a patient lose on a GLP is 150 pounds. I've had a patient lose half her body weight. Life-changing amount of weight. But here again, just like anything else, it's tailored because you have a spectrum of patients. You have the patient that is morbidly obese that's going to die without it. But then you have the athlete that maybe they're microdosing just to optimize their health and improve longevity.
Exactly.
So there really is a space for it in a lot of different populations.
Yeah.
So Christy, what do GLPs look like with Grace Wellness and Breaking Barriers in our collaboration?
So the way that we're doing it is a lot of people will come in and they'll talk to Bethany, or they'll reach out to me, and they've heard about it. And there's so many questions and people don't know about it. And so if you are wanting to get started on a GLP-1, or you're on a GLP-1, we do want to get you in with both of us. Just for Bethany to make sure that you're on that right dose, that you are either microdosing or you're on that dose that you're getting the right results without all the side effects.
Yeah.
And then you come to me and you're working with me so that I can monitor your muscle mass. Make sure that you're making those changes in your health and that you're making better choices to support, because GLP-1s have gotten a bad rap. And like I said, I was one of them that really believed that GLP-1s reduce muscle mass. I was like, they're reducing muscle mass.
And they do for most people because they've been
prescribed
of the choices, incorrectly.
Yes. And because of the side effects.
Right.
And it's too much. So it's the thing is, if you do that and you have that rapid weight loss, you are going to lose muscle, and that's where the dangerous thing happens. So as a reminder, GLP-1s is not reducing the muscle mass if it's prescribed correctly and you are doing what has to be done. So I know that there is a lot of fear out there because of that. So just know that you can safely be on a GLP-1 and gain muscle and be healthy and be an athlete and achieve the goals that you want to get. And so then you come back to me every month, because I do want to stay on top of that muscle mass. And you come see me, then you go see Bethany. and to make sure that, you know, both sides of your health is being taken care of.
Yeah, because what I have realized is that, as with anything, surveillance is key, and accountability is key, and we want to be different, being more health focused,
Yes.
big picture kind of focused, and go, you know what, we don't want you to be right back here doing the yo-yo that Christy talked about, that we want it to be a lifestyle change. And yes, maybe you microdose a GLP for a very long time.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yes.
But nothing takes the place of nutrition, and it's just a tool. It's really just a tool, just like any diet. But if it gives you the hope and the motivation and you feel better, then it may be more effective than other tools that you've used.
Exactly.
So,
I agree.
Yeah, so that's kind of what the plan looks like. So who is a candidate? Anybody, really, because most of us are insulin resistant, metabolic syndrome, so that person that has comorbid conditions, hypertension, hyperlipidemia, definitely a type 2 diabetic. But then if you're weight loss resistant, really any perimenopausal, menopausal female is a candidate.
Yes.
Because everybody's struggling. Yeah. Because by default, during that phase, you're insulin resistant.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, and that's one thing I commonly hear. At a certain, like 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever point that was, weight started creeping up and they can't get it off.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, that's our heart, is that mom that's so frustrated and just feels completely defeated. And so this is just a tool.
And they're doing things. I mean, we have a conversation and they're doing such good things.
Yeah.
And it's such frustration. And we just want to do everything we can to help them.
Right. And to encourage. So our goal with what we're doing with GLPs, and it may not even be GLPs. You know, there's people coming for a lot of things, but that you get some biometric data, some lab data, so that we know that your hormones are balanced.
Yep.
And then we pair it with the lifestyle coaching and the nutrition and the mindset.
Yeah.
So hopefully this podcast has helped kind of dispel some myths and some fear about GLPs, that they really aren't the villain, that they can be prescribed appropriately as a tool. I will say this, because we really didn't deep dive into this. So there's name brands. Many insurance companies still do not cover this. And, you know, if you're using it, really it's still off label if you're using it as a micro dose and your BMI is not greater than 28 or 30, but they're readily available with compounding pharmacies. And so that's how most of our patients are getting them, is cash pay. And it's pretty affordable if you're microdosing, because it lasts a long time.
Yeah.
So anyway, I hope this has helped.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, just like we said, our goal, first of all, we're in the time between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
We are.
And our encouragement is just don't wait until January 1st.
No,
to
don't wait,
whatever
guys.
it is, to set your goal, to run your race, to sign up for something.
Yes.
Like,
do something hard.
Yeah, do something hard to be healthier, so that you can pour into your family and your friends and just be the best that you can be, because that's what it's about, right?
It is, guys. There's never a good time to start. And once you get started and you have those small wins and you start getting, you know, the success in what your endeavor, whatever it is, it does help. And it gets you through all events and everything that you used to use as an excuse.
Yeah.
And again, your health is worth more than excuses. 100%. It's worth more. You are worth more. You're going to be a better person when you put your health first. And like we said in our last podcast, what we've been saying it a lot, is you have to be selfish to be selfless.
Yep.
Those busy moms that's wearing that crown of busyness and forgetting themselves, it's not serving well.
You got to go back and anchor your life and your day with those things that help you to be able to pour in.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. It's not complicated, guys,
it's
and we're
really
here to
not.
help. We truly are.
We are. Christy, good luck at DECA.
Bethany, good luck at DECA.
Hey, we'll bring that to you in the next few weeks. So anyway, y'all take care.
Bye, guys.